for your incredible songs and those prayers. As well, beautiful dancers, thank you for being here, celebrating with us, and giving a little bit of a win-to-win, an insight into our such a beautiful culture, a way of life that we still have as a people. It's always an honor to be in company with Dwivedi, Grand Chief of the Three Fires Confederacy, and the Ontario Regional Chiefs, Chief Day and Chief Angus Toulouse, and all of the dignitaries, Chief Reg from Missaussigi First Nation, Chief Paul, Grand River First Nation, everybody here, elders, Mary and Doreen, thank you, Lieutenant Governor, Nigonabe, Your Honor, thank you for joining us and helping us celebrate here today as we once again come together in unity to continue with the work that we have as an inheritance as a Anishinaabe. And thank you for those words, Grand Chief, around the treaty and our obligations. One of the things that the elders in our area, in our neck of the woods, have always said that if it's not in the treaty, it's still ours. And if it's not in the treaty, chances are those issues or those areas of jurisdiction we reserve for ourselves because we have inherent obligations to the Creator that were non-compromisable and that we would never surrender our inherent obligations to the Creator. One of those obligations is our obligation to protect the water and all of our relatives, all of the environment. We continue today collectively as the leadership and as the First Nations in the area to assert our jurisdiction and our sovereignty and to fulfill our commitment to protect the water. And things have changed in the last 65, 67, 68 years with the laws, with the settler laws that have allowed us to talk about this stuff today. That no longer will we be arrested for exercising our culture. We can hire lawyers now. We can actually get educated since the 1950s, which is really great for us. We can't lose sight of our inherent obligations that we all have yet to the Creator. And it's really great to see Bawaating, Sault Ste. Marie, the province of Ontario, and Canada start to realign their thinking with the original reality of our relationship. We have always made sure that we protected our inherent obligations. And we are starting to see the legislation, the court decisions in the settler courts that are aligning themselves with those thoughts and that reality. I can see the improvement of our environment. I can see the climate change issue finding a healthy resolve because we're starting to even more so now work in unity, not only amongst ourselves as Anishinaabe leadership, but with all of the settler government levels of government, the municipality, the province, and the federal government. So that too is reason for us to celebrate, is our unified approach to so many collective issues that will really lead to a better quality of life for all of our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren that are coming in the future. So it's commendable that we're able to be here today and witness this with some of our young people and our general population so they can go home and talk about that at their kitchen tables and how we're continuing to do the work that we were originally supposed to do. I want to thank all of the people that are involved in this new approach to how we're going to contemplate decisions around the environment. And I really appreciate Anshu and the Port of Algoma to recognizing our reserve jurisdiction and recognizing our right as Anishinaabe people to garner and maybe consider providing permission or consent for the Port of Algoma to quite possibly move ahead. We really appreciate and thank you for recognizing our pre-existing unextinguished law around our rights to manage the environment. And we really appreciate your recognizing of our ability to align ourselves with free, prior, informed consent. So So miigwech on behalf of Batchewana, and I look forward to a continued prosperous relationship with everybody that has joined us here at the St.
Miigwech, Chief Dean Sayers, and I'd like to call upon Chief Paul Syrette, Governor of First Nation.
I want to acknowledge, first of all, our sacred items that are here with us, our Eagle staff, all our items, our spirit helpers, that drum, prayers, Dr. Eddie, your words. Good morning, chiefs, elders, distinguished guests, friends, ladies and gentlemen. A very special warm welcome to the Honourable Elizabeth Dowdeswell, Lieutenant Governor of Ontario, who's joining us this morning on this very historic and special day. We are grateful and proud to have your presence with us today. Miigwech, Your Honor. I want to thank Bear Creek Drum, beautiful dancers, and all of the Grand Entry procession for bringing us all into this ceremony in such a kind and comforting way. I also want to acknowledge Mr. Terry Sheehan, our Member of Parliament, and Ontario Regional Chief Isadore for their presence here this morning as well. And to our new treaty partner, we wish to welcome and acknowledge Mr. Anshumali from the Port of Algoma, and to his colleagues who are with us this beautiful morning. 164 years ago, the principal leader of Bawaating, Chief Shingwak, gathered the leadership of the Anishinaabe and entered into a sacred and solemn treaty with the settler government. It became known as the Huron Treaty of 1850. In fact, the signing location of our treaty was held in a close vicinity to where we are today. Within the written framework and the oral context of the spirit and intent of the treaty, we exchanged many promises with the new people and their government. We promised to live in peace and to live in harmony as brothers and sisters, as relatives. We promised to help one another and to protect each other. Since the signing of the treaty, many of what was promised to us, the original people on this special place of Mother Earth, has never been kept, and many have been broken. But today, we see a new and fresh approach with our treaty partner from the Port of Algoma. In their forward way of thinking, we are embarking on a historic signing of a unity pact that will bring the Anishinaabe and industry closer together to work in a more collaborative manner with respect to protecting our lands, air, and waters as we think about development. We are proud that we join with the Ogama of this area on both sides that have been a key vision in building a brighter future for the next 7 generations. We are proud that today we come together as a strong and determined nation, united as we fulfill our sacred responsibility to care for the land and water. When Shingwak controlled the developments of these lands, he did so in the complete worldview of the Anishinaabe. We controlled these lands not under some Eurocentric policy that designated activity over certain parts, but we had full and complete control over the lands that belonged to us as a collective guided by the spirit of the Great Spirit. The Bawaating Anishinaabe today are exercising our inherent Indigenous rights as stated in the Royal Proclamation of 1763, the promises following the War of 1812, the British North America Act of 1867, Indians and lands reserved for Indians, the Huron Treaty of 1850, repatriation of the Canadian Constitution, Section 35, and treaty rights and title, and the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples and our right to self-determination. And finally, the call to action of the 94 findings of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Because today, brothers and sisters, the signing of this Unity Pact signals a positive step in the right direction, wherein we as a distinct people stake out a future for our children and grandchildren. We know that some of our communities are not able to be present, and that we want them to share in this momentous and significant day of celebration and recognition. To this end, we will provide an adhesion to the Unity Pact, where they will be able to join and be a formal signatory to this exciting record of history. We will not let artificial boundaries separate the original government of the Three Fires Confederacy, and we will stand shoulder to shoulder in unity and strength. For peace and reconciliation to take place in a meaningful way, we need to build and foster these types of relationships where we see respect and reciprocity at the forefront of our relationship. In closing, I want to sincerely thank our Algoma and our friend Andrew from the Port of Algoma in bringing us together and looking 7 generations into the future. The Unity Pact and the Reconciliation and Prosperity Accord that was signed in Garden River First Nation are models that can be used across this country. So to our witnesses, Mr. Terry Sheehan, please share this with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and your government. And to our Regional Chief Isadore Day, our brothers and sisters can use this process in healing and reconciliation, their differences across the country. Finally, to our elders, council, citizens of Garden River, and our neighboring communities, we lay this foundation for the future to follow. Be blessed.